Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is October the 19th, and we are continuing to go through the NBA divisions. We are jumping into the Pacific Division today, so with no further ado, I'm going to just jump right into it, man. A couple days left before the season starts, so we got a lot of work to do. I got a lot to share, I should say, about these teams. So let's jump right into it, man. Hit the like button for me if you can as you join. Always helps out the show, helps out the algorithm. Jumping to Jackson, your AI Sports betting tool. So first up, Jackson, just one play for Jackson on all these future bets. You guys go back, listen to the old shows, the three that we did on the Eastern Conference if you want those bets. Today I asked Jackson what was the single best NBA future bet to currently make. And Jackson likes the Houston Rockets regular season win total under 53.5. It says that the Houston Rockets are entering the 2025-2026 season with massive expectations after finishing last season with 52 wins and securing the second seed in the Western Conference. The offseason was defined by the blockbuster trade of Kevin Durant, a move that instantly elevated them to legitimate title contention status. Durant, a 15-time All-Star, brings elite scoring and shooting efficiency, fitting seamlessly into the lineup that needed a perimeter jump shooter. However, the optimism surrounding the Durant acquisition has been significantly tempered by critical injury. Starting point guard Fred VanVleet suffered the ACL tear and is expected to miss the entire regular season. Fred VanVleet was the engine of last season's 52-win team, and his absence creates a massive, unfillable void for the backcourt. So statistical and roster breakdown. I'm no way I'm reading all this. This is a lot I ain't reading beforehand. I'll tell you guys that it says the 53.5 win total suggests the market expects the Rockets to improve slightly over the 53 win season last season, largely due to Durant's presence. However, the loss of Fred VanVleet introduces several structural weaknesses that the market appears to be underestimating. So the Fred VanVleet void, this is the only one I'm going to read. So the Rockets backcourt depth is a major concern now. Amin Thompson, 6'7" guard, is expected to take over the primary point guard duties, while Thompson is a promising young player. Relying on him to manage the offense for a 54-plus win team is a huge gamble. The remaining depth consists of Reed Shepherd, who averaged 12.6 minutes last season on 4.4 points per game, and the veteran Aaron Holiday and Josh Okogie, who combined for only 12 points per game last season. The expert consensus is that while Kevin Durant trade makes Houston a playoff team, the backcourt situation makes them more likely to be a play-in contention rather than a top 4 seed. The lack of reliable veteran floor general like Fred VanVleet will lead to offensive struggles and inconsistency, especially early in the season as Thompson adjusts to the starting role. So there's more on here about Durant's durability, him only averaging 49 games per season over the last 5 seasons. I'm not reading all this, and then the value being justified as well. So as always, man, if you guys are interested in the insight or the plays or whatever it is that you want, use that link in the description, man. It'll help you not just for NBA, but for NFL, MLB playoffs, and everything else that you can think of. Let's jump into it, man. So first up, we got the Golden State Warriors. Golden State last season, they finished 48-34. Finished 7th in the West. You can see their ATS number a little bit better than 50%. End up losing in the conference semifinals to the Timberwolves after Steph went down, but that and strained his hamstring in game 1. Never returned for the series, and they never had a chance. The highlight of Golden State last season was when they acquired Jimmy Butler, right? Early February. This team was 25-25 in 9th place in the West. They traded for Jimmy, helped turn their whole season around. They finished 23-9. We made a lot of money with them in the second half of the season. They were 22-5 in games where Steph and Jimmy Butler both played. So that showed a lot of promise last year. Over the course of the offseason, Golden State, they re-signed Jonathan Kuminga. That was a big deal. DeAnthony Melton is back. Gary Payton II is back. Quentin Post is back. Santos is back. And they added Seth, even though they just cut him, and Al Horford through free agency. So they didn't really lose anybody except Kevon Looney, who is now in New Orleans. And he's on the sideline because he's hurt. Brzezinski, I think we'll be looking to take a Brandon Brzezinski. I think he'll take a leap this season, in my opinion. He has some bold comments in the offseason about like the keys being potentially passed down to him when Steph and Draymond are gone. I mean, you start saying stuff like that, big expectations. Last season, he did finish the season strong, playing his best basketball in April. it's going to be critical for the Warriors to have enough around for Steph this season. Last season, they had a 120 offensive rating with him on the floor and a 107 rating without Steph on the floor last season. I also think that like Moses Moody is going to be a key contributor this season with another year to his belt. I think from what I've been reading, he's going to come into the season really prepared to kind of make a leap as well. And Golden State, I think, is going to be good, man. Apparently, Moody has some really good workouts this offseason as well. Throughout the preseason, what I've noticed, because these Warriors do play my Lakers in Game 1, and they played the Lakers, it feels like a million times already in the preseason. But throughout the preseason, the turnovers have been a big concern for the Golden State Warriors. They finished the average second most turnovers of any NBA team. There was the 3 teams that don't play in the NBA that also played. But the Warriors are going to have to do a better job of taking care of basketball because I don't think the Lakers are going to turn it over too much. And that could definitely, just kind of fall to them. I do like what I've seen from Al Horford so far this offseason. We'll see what happens with Draymond Green. Could take him a couple games to kind of get, maybe more than a couple games to get his feet back wet. I think Steph's going to still be good. When you look at the strength of schedule, they finished. They have the 4th most difficult schedule, 11 games with the rest advantage, but a league high 14 games with the rest disadvantage this season. Projected win total sitting at 46.5 plus 100 on BetMGM. The age is scary. When you're thinking about taking it over, we know Steph got hurt last year. Draymond can be hurt. Steve Kerr is somebody that does not mind being super precautious with his players. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But 46.5 seems about right. You really need Steph to be in there. You really need the others to step up and play well and knock down some 3-point shots and contribute offensively. I think they'll be really good defensively. You can see they finished 7th last season. They are plus 280 to win the division on ESPN Bet. The best odds that I could find, which is they're projected to finish 3rd. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors. No bet for me on the Warriors right now, though. Let's go over to the next team. We have the Los Angeles Clippers are up next. Clippers. All right, so Clippers finished 50 and 32 last season. You can see that they were not just great against the straight up, but they were great against the spread as well. 46-35-1. That was good for 5th in the West as far as straight up record at 50 and 32. They lost in the first round of Denver Game 7. James Harden was missing again like he typically does in the playoffs. They were one of, if not the hottest team in the league heading into the playoffs. Though. Remember, the Clippers actually went into the playoffs on an 18-3 straight up run, securing that 5th seed. Then Denver knocked them out, and it was the 3rd straight time that they've been knocked out in the first round of the playoffs in 3 straight years. So off-season wise, they did get better. They got older, but they definitely got better. They re-signed Nicholas Batum, who feels like he's been playing for 40 years. They extended James Harden, who also is me and Harden about the same age, so Harden getting up there. They add Bradley Beal, which I guess that helps a lot because the thing about Bradley Beal is like if he can stay healthy, that's going to be great for them. But also like Bradley Beal is coming into this team. Bradley Beal hasn't played on the team with good defense. I don't think in his whole career actually. Go back to the Washington Wizards days when he had John Wall. Like, they just didn't have sound defensive teams. And then of course on Phoenix last season, Bradley Beal was not in a good defensive situation either. The Phoenix Suns, we'll talk a little bit about them at the end. They were one of the worst 3 defenses in the NBA last season. So Bradley Beal is going to be surrounded by really good defensive players this season. I think that's going to help him out a lot because we know he's a clone on defense. But they add him. They add John Collins via trade from the Utah Jazz, which I think that's really good. John Collins is actually one of the younger players on this team. Then they signed Brook Lopez, who's also like 120, and they signed Chris Paul, who's like 130. So I mean, you get a lot older, but you do get some depth, right? Because they let Amir Coffey go. Drew Eubanks is gone. And then Norman Powell, of course, was traded to the Miami Heat. Ben Simmons is now gone. So you lose some players, and you got to account for those. And I think they did a really good job of kind of filling the roster, man. I feel like the Clippers could get off to a slow start. They were 26-11 last year in games that both Harden and Kawhi both played in. Last season, they ranked 3rd in defensive rating, which you can see here. 20th in scoring overall, but their offensive efficiency was 14. And what was worse than that, but they were 25th in 3-pointers made. Now you lose Norman Powell, who shot 42% from the 3-point line last season. I don't think replacing them is going to be that easy. I know they got a couple guys, but I think the Clippers could struggle with floor spacing. You do get a veteran leader in there like Chris Paul. James Harden, I feel like, is going to play his way into shape again like he always does. you need Bill to be healthy, man. I think you really need Bill to be healthy. I think this team will. I mean, all Tyloo teams kind of lean into the defense, so the Clippers will be fine. I do think that they'll be fine. I don't want to take a over on the win total just because Kawhi seems like he's always hurt, even though last season he wasn't. But more times than not, the Clippers find a way to just screw it all over. Their strength of schedule is 14th most easiest, or you could say middle of the pack. 12 games with the rest advantage, 11 games without it. In the preseason, their transition defense has been really, really poor, which is slightly concerning given their core age. Stamina could be a question for the start of the season, so we'll see what happens with the Clippers. This is a team that I'll probably be fading on the second leg of a back-to-back, especially if they win the first game. Projected win total sitting right at 47.5 as well. They are plus 195 on FanDuel, which is the second shortest odds to win this division as well. So you can see that they're really, really close to the Golden State Warriors. I just told you guys the Warriors had a 46.5 win total. The Clippers got a 47.5. I don't think the books really know how this division is going to play out, but somebody's going to have to lose. All right. No bet for me on the Clippers at all. If I had to bet it, I probably would go over, but injuries kind of scare me, man. These some old teams in the Western Conference. All right, next up, my Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers finished 50-32 last season, was good for third in the West, 46-35-1 against the number. Lost to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves knocked us out in 5 in the first round of the playoffs, man. Timberwolves in 5. We re-signed Luka. Luka is now going to be in LA for the next few years. Jackson Hayes is back. Bron got his exercise his player option. We added DeAndre Ayton. I see we because I'm a Laker fan, of course, but we added Ayton. LaRavia comes over from Sacramento, and Marcus Smart comes over from Washington. Dorian Finney-Smith is now gone in free agency. He ended up being in Houston. Trey Jameson is out as well, and we waived Shake Milton. So the number one thing I think with the Lakers that you have to take into consideration, two things actually. Slim Luka is back. Looked like he could be on a revenge tour. So I'm excited to see Slim Luka play, especially meaningful basketball because JJ Redick kind of held him out of most of the preseason games. And then also Bron, right? Like LeBron not being there, I think is for the first few games as he deals with that sciatica is going to be huge. I think he's going to miss 10, 12 games before he's reevaluated. What does that do for the Lakers? I think it'll allow Luka to play Luka-style basketball, right? JJ Redick called Austin Reeves the best player in the gym when describing his offseason workouts. I think having Ayton as a rim protector is actually the best 5 that the Lakers have had since acquiring Luka and having Bron at the same time. I don't even think that's questionable. So it's going to be interesting to see what you get out of DeAndre Ayton. Can he contribute on the offensive end as well as being a rim protector? We shall see, man. Strength of schedule wise, 14th most difficult, probably, right in the middle of the pack, 8 games with the rest advantage, 9 games without. Lakers also 48.5 wins. So right there with the Golden State Warriors, right there with the Clippers, plus 155 to win the division. They were the favorite. But LeBron being ruled out, I feel like this may have changed, but I didn't look at the updated odds. The LeBron thing is interesting because Bron, you can say he's kind of in his feelings because the keys are being passed from him to Luka as far as from an organizational standpoint. But there's 2 ways to look at the LeBron not starting the season thing, right? Luka gets into a good rhythm and a good flow of playing basketball without LeBron, which is eventually going to happen anyway. But the idea of LeBron not participating in training camp and, missing those first few games, it could be actually a good thing because you give the other players a lot more time to gel. Bron is a very, high IQ type player. I don't think it'll take him a long time to, figure out Ayton and, how they can make this offense better. Defensively, I think he's going to continue to decline just because of his age and how much energy he wants to put in on the defensive end. But it could be a positive as far as like it won't be as taxing on his body towards the end of the season, which the playoffs are absolutely what matter in the first place. So you could get a fresher LeBron, come mid, November, late November-ish, like early December-ish, depending on when he returns. So I guess that's the positive, man. I'm not betting on the Lakers to win anything as far as preseason, season before the season starts, win. So nothing for me on the Lakers. Let's move on to the Suns. Last season, one of the worst teams in the NBA by far. They finished 36-46 straight up, 31-50-1 against the number. 11th in the West. They missed the playoffs. The team played just 23 games last season with Bill Booker and Kevin Durant on the floor because they were all hurt throughout different time frames. They lost 9 of their last 10 games, which eliminated them from play-in contention. And now they're on their fourth coach in 4 years with much less expectations than they've had previously as they're, just rebuilding now, right? So Jordan Ott, I think is how you pronounce his name. He is the new head coach, previous assistant for the Nets, for the Lakers, for the Cavs. So he does have a little bit of coaching experience. The Phoenix Suns also, outside of bringing him in, they extended Devin Booker. Colin Gillespie is also, they signed him as well off his rookie deal. And they add Dylan Brooks in the trade. They get Jalen Green in the trade as well from Houston. They sent KD, of course, to Houston. And Jordan Goodwin is back. Jared Butler is back. Mark Williams via trade. And then, of course, the biggest loss is KD. Bill's now gone. They waived him. Tyus Jones is in Orlando. Damian Lee is overseas. Cody Martin was waived. Micic was traded. Mason Plumlee left in free agents. Tata Washington is gone and left in free agency. So it's going to be a different team. The Suns are kind of like in rebuild mode. At media day, I did hear Devin Booker talk about denying rumors that he wanted to leave the franchise. But what they're paying him, I would never say I wanted to leave either. Matt Ishbia, the owner, he asked for patience. Now he wants to emphasize the importance of kind of laying the groundwork and building an identity, which seems a little backwards to me, but that's just what the Phoenix Suns have been doing lately, not really constructing a core group. Jalen Green says he's been working on his in-between game, trying to get to the middies a little bit more, hit some more floaters, because defenses have been really taking the three-point shot away from him. We saw him really, really struggle in the playoffs, specifically against the Golden State Warriors last season. This Phoenix Suns team does have the third most difficult strength of schedule, 8 games with the rest advantage, 11 games where they're at a rest disadvantage, only projected at 30.5 wins, minus 120 on DraftKings. They don't control their pick either, so they can push for more wins. But we'll see, man. I think the Phoenix Suns will be getting a bunch of points. I think their ATS record will be a lot better because they'll be a gritty team. I think they'll be gritty this season. I think they'll lean into their defense a little bit more. Preseason is what it is, but you kind of look at the numbers, and their preseason numbers haven't been that bad, man. I think I was looking at it earlier, and preseason wise, this team has just give you guys the numbers real quick. Preseason wise, they've been one of the better defensive teams. They're 5th in defensive rating. Now, like I said, you take that with a grain of salt, but I do think that they'll lean into their defense. I think their offense will struggle actually, and we'll take unders in Phoenix games. I think that's how we'll get paid, is to take unders in certain Phoenix Sun games. That's my game plan going into the season for the Phoenix Suns. Last but not least, the Sacramento Kings. I should have put an A in here. This team finished 40-42 last season. You can see 35, 44, and 3 against the number. 9th in the West, lost in the play-in tournament. Man, it's a little bit of new stuff going on. They do got a new GM in Scott Perry. Doug Christie gets his first offseason with the team as well. After they fired. Who did they fire? Mike Brown. Fired Mike Brown. Mike Brown's in New York now. They re-signed Keon Ellis. He team option exercise for him. Doug McDermott came back, and of course they gave Keegan Murray just over the weekend, gave him the bag. Drew Eubanks came back. Dario Saric came over from Denver. Dennis Schroeder is now their point guard, and newly acquired Russell Westbrook is also on the team. No Laravia just said he's on the Lakers. Trey Lyles went overseas. Jonas Valanciunas is in Denver, which we'll talk about in the next preview. So yeah, it's a lot going on, man. This Sacramento Kings team, I'm just be short and brief, man. I don't think they're gonna do too much. 34.5 is their season win total. Keegan Murray is the best player on the team. You still got, some scores there. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan is still there, of course, as well. Dennis Schroeder is a true point guard for them, but not a A+ type point guard. I don't think the Kings will be good. And here's a big reason why. Even though they just extended Keegan Murray, he's going to be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks with a torn collateral ligament ulnar. I think it's ulnar is how you pronounce it. Collateral ligament in his left thumb that he suffered during the preseason. So that's not great for the Kings. Doug Christie is a coach that I do think if he can win over the locker room, then they will be disciplined and play a little defense and show some toughness. And that's what he kind of talked about in the media day. But I feel like that was the same thing they said last season. The Kings, I don't think will be a good defensive team. When I was looking at their numbers, that's what he says that they will be. I was looking at their numbers in the preseason, and they were the third worst defensive team, 117.7 defensive rating. Again, take that with a grain of salt, but they weren't a great defensive team then. I think that their offense will be struggle. It'll be super predictable. Sabonis is, of course, by far the best player, but I don't know. I don't think they got enough shooting. Too many mid-range jump shots going in my opinion. I think the Kings will really, really struggle. Outside of that, they do have the 8th most difficult schedule as well, 14 games with the rest advantage and 11 games without it. I talked about their 34.5 win total. I would go under on the Kings. I don't think they'll get to 35 wins this season. They're in such a great conference. You got to think about this, right? Out West, that the expectations have to be super low, in my opinion. When you think about the cream of the crop in the Western Conference, right? You got OKC, Houston, Denver, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Spurs, maybe Memphis. It's going to be tough for a team like Sacramento. They won 40 games last season, but they also went just 14-19 straight up and 15-18 against the number with both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan playing. And of course, that was towards the end of the season after Zach LaVine got traded. But now Keegan Murray's out for at least a month with that thumb injury. I don't think that's going to make things better. I think the Kings are going to struggle, man. Last season, the Kings were a plus 1.5 in point differential with Keegan Murray on the floor. They had a 115 defensive rating played in games compared to a minus 2.8 without him. And they had a defensive rating of 119.6, which is 17 percentile per cleaning the glass. I think the Kings are really going to struggle this season because of that. When I think about the players on their team, who they got out there really strapping up anybody? Sabonis isn't great on defense. None of the guards are great on defense. Zach LaVine isn't. DeMar DeRozan isn't. So I think they're going to really, really struggle and I think they're going to lose. I just don't think that they got the – I mean, it's going to have to be a lot of will on a lot of nights for them to be competitive in these games, man. So if I'm betting on the Kings, which I haven't made anything official yet, I'm betting under 34.5 on the Kings. And that's it, man. End of the show. All 5 teams out of the Pacific are done. Resources, as always, are here. I talk to you guys about Jackson, but check out Outlier, Moneyballer, and OddsJam as well if you're interested in the resources that I use to handicap the games. Show it's almost showtime, so we'll be back on Tuesday night with not even Tuesday night. Tuesday night starts the season. Tuesday morning we'll go live. But yeah, hit the like button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We still got the Northwest and the Southwest to do. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always.